It is over. It is done. Take a look. Oh! Fuck yeah, dude! Woo! Fucking get it done! Oh! Oh my fucking god! Oh! Oh! Jesus! Oh! Oh! There is a feeling that is so rare in video games, and it's one of those feelings that you just can't capture unless you achieve something monumental. I know this fight is, like, for some people very, very easy, and I know that there are things, and it was a whole day of turmoil, honestly, of decision-making. We had the vote in the morning that I told you about yesterday of what we're going to do. Overwhelmingly, it was go and get more gear. Overwhelmingly. Now, here's the interesting thing. My longer-term audience, who knows me a lot better than our newer Monster Hunter World audience, obviously, they were mad. Really mad. They were like, no, no. And the reason is, they know I didn't want it. They knew that. They knew that from the start. They know I didn't want that. And that it was doable. And so I said, I will respect the vote. The vote was made on YouTube and on Twitch. I will respect the vote. But just to make sure, I wasn't trying to dodge the vote here, by the way. I really wasn't. I was like, just to make sure we weren't really tired because we'd gone 10 hours deep the day before, let's have 45 minutes. I actually had Chris put a timer on the streams. Like, we'll go 45 minutes just to see whether, like, being refreshed and it's the morning, that will kill it, like, pretty quickly and be done and over with. During that time, I think it was during that time. Yesterday's a bit of a blur, so cut me a little slack. During that time, I had one of those pulls where we nearly killed it. Or similar to that time. And my reason for death, yet again, was just a throw at the end. A throw. We had 90% health going into Escobar. And the jerky pop was just a second too early. Something like that, just a second too early. Obviously, there's a bit of nerves and a bit of panic. And the boss was nearly dead. And it healed me, but the second one just didn't land in time in order to top me off. It just didn't land in time as my health just ticked down to 0. And it had been a thing for a while. It's like, we need 2 heals to get through this. And I need full health, realistically. I actually don't. After this moment, I will point out, after this moment, I realize I don't. I can actually delay the heal reasonably significantly. I still need 2 heals, but I could delay the first one to be like half my health. That will make it so that the rest of the damage isn't quite going to kill me. It'll take me to like 10%, something like that. So it's kind of tight, but that's where we were. So I put in the stress of what was happening, I popped it probably a second too early. So instead of 3 ticks, I took 2 ticks, and then the rest of it just didn't go off in time with the animation of the heal. And I just yelled out, none of this is not because... These deaths are not because of gear. Now, the response from the actual Monster Hunter community was very different. They were like, right, but you could cut this fight down by like 1/3 of its duration, right? Which gives you so much more room for error. Extra lives matter. You could force... people were like, you could force to have cat insurance, which gives you like an extra life. It turns out I can't because I don't have the ingredients. So I was like, okay, we'll try that. I looked at it and they're like, no, actually he can't do that. We haven't got all the ingredients to make that happen. So a lot of the suggestions were just like, just go and get more stuff that is better suited to this fight, blah, blah, blah. But some of the other guys who were like been around in our community for a while were like, it's still... It's not going to make it easy. It makes it easier by a significant margin, but not easy, right? It's not like you're going to walk in and stomp it, but you will have a significantly easier time, mainly just due to like time reduction and things like that, and taking less damage. Usual things that make fights like this easier. But it wasn't really why we were dying. There was those pupils where we just got absolutely double wombo comboed, which is where you just... If you take 1 hit, you're going to lose 2 lives. In terms of, it's going to kill you with the follow-up because you're purely CC'd, And it will kill you again the second the cat reses you, so you lose 2 of your extra lives. So, I was kind of, at that point, I was like, I know in my heart of hearts, just because of the way I am, for whatever reason, that if we go and get this gear, after we're on the 4th day of progress here, and then we kill it, I'm just not going to be happy. It's as simple as that. I'm just not going to be happy. Like, we've trained and we can kill it as we are, and it's going to be, like, so cool if I can do it. For me, I don't care about how other people take it. Like, for me, it's going to be such a great kill to overcome this challenge that taking that away from myself is rather silly. So I was like, I'm going to push on here because these deaths aren't because of gear. So we pushed on. I'm pushed on. And in my team Discord for the day, they're like, the conversation was going on, like, what are we going to do here? Because, you know, we've had this vote and all this kind of stuff. And it actually kind of switched. So I put in there, it's like, regardless of what happens today, because we had a team meeting at 3 o'clock, I will get the gear first thing in the morning. Like, that will be the plan. That will be the plan. So the team meeting was at 3 p.m. So we pushed and pushed and pushed. And I'll be honest with you, wasn't good. If anybody's ever done long-term boss progress in a video game, you will have experienced this. If you're familiar with, like, the Race to World First, which is coming up, by the way. Hopefully I'll be involved. I'm not yet, but hopefully I'll be involved as a caster. There's periods of time where, like, the teams go hours with just seemingly no progress. In fact, regression. It's a very normal thing that happens, and you've just got to push through it. Like, I've been part of the Race to World First scene now for, like, over a decade, and I've watched it countless times, and it's always something where you'll see the audience, like, just suggesting changes, suggestions, things like that. And it's like, you've just got to push through this, and the way you push through it is you get that pull where things go really, really well, and then that kind of fires you back up. You need to get that big pull again. And I was waiting for that to happen. I was saying that to the live audience. I was like, we're not worried right here. This is very normal. We're dying in like the first 30 seconds. We're going to push through this. We're going to have a good pull. That really good pull came at like 2:45 p.m., something like that, which is like 15 minutes for it to go. It didn't kill it, but we had a very, very strong pull. To which Chris came into the room and he went, we've made a decree. And it's like, we have things to talk about for the channel and content that we're making and things like that, but we're going to forgo it today if you want to. I mean, obviously I'm in charge, so it's like, if you want to forgo the meeting and push for the next 2 hours, we will, it's okay. We can rework it for next week. I was like, well, that's not really a choice, is it? That's not really a choice. Now, I'm setting you up for the obvious, not that obvious actually, the actual stress of the kill, because obviously we've killed it. I have been streaming so late the last few days because of Alatreon that I haven't been home before 7:30, 7:45 at night all week. And I have a wife and 2 kids that require certain, not just attention because of love, but like tasks, homework, things like that, which I've had to do very, very late, and it's not good. I haven't seen my kids as much as I would like. And so on the back of that, it was actually date night. Emma was like, we're going out tomorrow. You're not doing whatever you're doing. We're going out tomorrow. And she was going to pick the kids up. And then she said, I will be at the office at 5 p.m. and we're going out. We're having a night out. And I was like, awesome. That's fine. That's really cool. Because I was pretty convinced we would kill Alatreon the next day. At 5:15 p.m., I hadn't received a text message from my wife, and I was still streaming, and we were still pushing, and we weren't having particularly good pulls, and I was getting very anxious that this wasn't going to happen, and I was committed to, like, changing everything the next day. So I was like, I need a minute. And I went and called her, and she's like, I'm about 45 minutes away. So I was like, okay, cool. Ran back into the room. I was like, we've got 45 minutes to try and do this. That 45 minutes came and went. It's now 6 p.m. But she hadn't arrived yet. And it was building up to the point where any moment she would arrive. And the game plan was, this is pure degeneracy. The game plan was, I can finish a pull when she arrives, but I can't start a new one, right? So if it went wrong at all, it was like, reset, go again. Reset, go again. It is incredible. It cannot be written any better. and we were actually talking about this after we got the kill. The kill pull was as she was texting me to say she was outside waiting for me downstairs. It was literally, there's no getting around it. The very last possible attempt I could have made on this boss before we were forcibly going to change the character in some way. Because as it happened, my wife was sat downstairs in the car waiting for me to come downstairs to go on a night out as we crossed that finishing line. I gotta tell you, there's some amazing moments in this. I really suggest you watch, like, at least the latter half of the pull. There were moments that are just so... I know it's cinema is kind of a running meme right now, but it was. The cat procced... In the final phase, the cat procced the topple. I know it's only 300 damage, but it was what took it over the line to topple it. This relaxed me so much. Because it's like, right, I can survive the next Escobar. All I need to do now is just do damage. Do damage, right? That's it. That's all I need to do. I don't need to worry about meeting any more checkpoints. And you've got to remember how tough this was. Is we had to do 2 perfect phases. Then we have like a throwaway phase where we can't topple it. We can't break any horns. We also don't do any damage. And then we get back into the next 2 Escobars. We have to do 5 Escobars to get through this fight. And the cat toppled it, and then I got relaxed. And I also didn't realize, because I had no idea when this fight ends, is that we could go to the 5th Escobar and I can survive. I haven't got any carts left. I might have had 1 left. It was a very clean pull, the actual kill. It was really clean. And that means I can go through that and still have a few minutes to actually work this health bar down to wherever the ending point is. And the cat got the proc, which then relaxed me and got into there. And then it staggered after that. Like, it staggered and it drooled, and I had full charged weapon. And I was like, oh, I can ZSD the head here, because the head was, like, weakened. It was like, this is perfect. So I just sent it, and in almost, like, actual cinematic moment, is you can see the kill, is I kill it with a ZSD to the head, where I'm just pummeling into the head, and boom, the explosion went off, and it says mission complete, and you could actually tell I am prepared to... I had no idea when we were going to kill it, or what its health was like. You can see that I'm very relaxed, actually, on the heart rate monitor. I'm pretty reasonably stressed, like 80-something, 90. That's pretty stressful. It's like that for the last 15 minutes in, like, nearly every attempt when we're in actual kill territory. Immediately after that, it jumps to, like, 110, 113, because I was prepared to fight this for another 6 minutes or so. I was, like, totally, like, I'm happy we can survive the Escobar. I just need to do damage right now. And to take it over the finishing line, because we've done good damage throughout the entire fight, and skip the 5th Escobar, and I was like, holy crap, it's over, and we did it. Oh my god. And I gotta tell you, these moments are just the best for me. It's what made me fall in love with these big video games. And I said it compares to, for me, it compares to some of the best things I ever did in video games, where it took longer, like Unat in World of Warcraft. Just these moments where you're getting these top world rankings, you know, you're literally overcoming a challenge that barely 100 people in the world have ever achieved. That feeling of seeing the boss go down, and like then it was like having a team working together, but this moment is right up there. And I'm so happy like we could still have those moments now of like finding these challenges and overcoming them and having victory. And also having so many people who's like, can't do it for days. Like, we had a lot of not hate watchers, but people who were just like, why is he doing this to himself? Why is he doing this to himself? Because it doesn't need to be this way. It's not designed to be done this way, you know. You're supposed to have like augments and stuff right now. Like, it can be done, obviously, by very seasoned pros, but it's not the way this boss was designed. And we overcame it. So I'm just overjoyed to have that moment. And so shared it with so many thousands of people live who stuck with the whole thing for like 4 days. And to see the reaction of that, we hit like, I think I had to turn the stream off while there was a level 10 hype train flowing in my chat, which is absurd. It's absurd. This is one of the most, this is an achievement as a streamer that 99.99% of people who stream will never see that happen, is to have a level 10 hype train. It's something that is for the 0.001%, and it was happening to me, and I was like, I've got to go. My wife's downstairs. I've got to go. My wife's waiting for me. Oh, so stupid, but a glorious moment and such a high. And then I went for it and had a couple of beers afterwards. But then the question comes, what's next? We're going to take a look at Alice. A lot of people really want this to take place. I want to judge. I'm going to see what it's like. We're obviously going to take a look-see, and probably. I think I'm going to have a bit of fun today and collect some gear regardless of what we're going to do. Rurikan has sent us the Council of Monster Hunters. The envoy Rurikan has come forth. They've cracked. The team on the Discords have cracked out a gear set, which they're like, you could probably do it in this, but we kind of like to see it, and a lot of people want to see it. I get that. I also do want to break before Wilds, because, you know, otherwise we're going to, like, crash into Wilds. It's going to be, like, a lot of hunting monsters for a very long time on the stream, and we are a variety channel. I like variety and spice, but I'm also having a wonderful time here. So it's a tough choice to make as to what is the correct choice, especially if we're committing to, like, maybe another week or so of progress on one boss. So let's see what the boss is like. No decision made yet. Literally, as I sit here, I'm about to stream. I haven't made a decision. But we'll see where that's going to go. I'm so happy. I cannot tell you how happy I am we didn't go and farm gear. I cannot tell you how happy I am that we didn't give up. And we were like, it's doable. We know it's doable. And we overcame it. So good. So, so good. And let's see if the Fat Alice has this for us as well. We'll see. Bye, guys.